Forged from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio. Net Radio.
Chill, and I feel to eat some sweet wild meat. So this year I'm heading for the hills, where folks smile as they're meeting. Nice people. Where a cock crowing dust up the line, whereas they wish you season's greetings. Same time they hand you some Sivan time. I'm heading for Paramin. This Christmas, to hear a string bass and a mandolin. Paramin, this paramin, real param, the kind that Daisy voice I used to sing. Hey, up there you coulda cantam, up there you coulda bailam. Say me gusta mucho, cause they have it genuine. Dancing, little children prancing, everyone romancing, baby. Take me back to I say leave me, I'm going farming. Wherever you feel to say, I go. Well, boy, I want to smell the real pastel, wrapping fig leaf melting in your mouth. Hey, and I'm waiting too for the Mountain Dew, the one that bumps the gun as you bring it out. We are
fresh energy. This is the Net Radio Breakfast Show.
Hey everybody, good morning to you. How are you people doing this morning, wherever you may be getting up with us? And those of you right here at home, Trinidad and Tobago, good morning to you. Our neighbors in the Caribbean, a very special good morning to you. And of course, everyone else streaming around the globe, our friends and our family. Thank you so much for connecting with us here. It is New Era TT Radio, Net Radio, the heartbeat of the Caribbean, as we take you above and beyond. Good to be here in your company, as always. So let me say much thanks, as always, to the Heavenly Father for bringing us together for another day. And everything that we do, dear God, let it be a blessing on to you. People, I am yours truly, Sir Charles. Yes, happy am I to be in your company, as always, as we welcome you to the Get Up and Go. Everybody, this is your breakfast show.
Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line, let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Oh, good vibes rolling through the air. The breakfast show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
Like we had a play last night. Like you had a play last night or what? Good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe.
Good morning, Wendell, and good morning to everybody. Welcome.
Yeah, the amazing thing, Sir Charles, is that I said yesterday, as I do most mornings, said it's an absolutely beautiful morning in Trinidad and Tobago as it is in other parts of the globe. And what happens later in the day?
Yeah, boy.
Rain, tornado, destruction. Oh, jeez. So, yes. But anyway, it's an absolutely beautiful morning, right?
It was a tornado.
But so they say.
You know, people just get tired with little high wind and thing, and next thing
Well,
they say tornado, you know.
Well, from the appearance, says yes. I don't know what truly defines a tornado. Maybe Richard could. But I know over water, it's called a water spout. A sort of funnel, the funnel that it makes. So I guess it's a mini tornado. Maybe it's not as big as the tornadoes that other places have. But how else you can describe a wind like that lifting, that's spinning and going its way and lifting off roofs? How else could you describe that? Not a tornado?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Am I on?
Yes, you are. You are.
Yeah. Good morning, guys. And of course, good morning to our listeners and viewers wherever you are. I mean, it seemed like that. It seemed like I don't know if because you couldn't see, at least you weren't seeing it you weren't seeing the visible funnel like you see in movies or like you see in tornadoes in the United States. But it looked like a low-level one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe it wasn't. You know, if I don't know how tornadoes, because we don't have them often.
Yeah.
I don't know how they are graded.
How you define what is a tornado?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
At what point does it become defined as a tornado? So maybe it is pre that. But certainly you're right, Wendell. It moved like one because it was a circular wind. So obviously it was a funnel of some sort, and one that was pretty strong enough that it could rip roofs off.
Yeah.
So I don't. Somebody in the stream probably knows what it's called because they.
Well, your wife saying it's high winds. It can be high winds. High winds don't do that on water.
It wasn't just high winds.
Yeah.
It was obviously an intense circular thing that to cause the kind of damage it was causing. It wasn't just arbitrary high winds just blowing across.
No. High winds couldn't do that on the water either. You saw it on the water. High winds couldn't do that on the water.
And it was circular. It was.
Yeah.
So some weather expert will probably be able to define exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That I am not. I'm not a weather expert.
I neither. I just went with what I saw being reported on tornado, because I would imagine, just like hurricanes, tornadoes have different strengths too. You understand?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if they're from 1 to 10, that might have been a 1 or a 2. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, good morning, guys. I did something this morning that I haven't done in years. Early morning.
Is this confession?
In years. Make a guess what is that, Richard? I don't tell Sir Charles, so I can't let him guess. I did something this morning that I haven't done in years. And I did it with a guy, a man.
Jog?
Yeah?
Jog?
Well, not jog, but walk the Queen's Park Savannah. I haven't done that in ages. I went and walked the Savannah this morning, but I came in for a bit earlier because yesterday Flo come to change something yesterday and leave me without internet, leave me without anything, So I know I had to come down here, so I have no internet since yesterday afternoon.
Oh, it was specific to your home?
Yes, specific to my home.
Oh, okay.
They changed, they put in a fuse stick, that's what they're calling it now. That's the name they call it, a fuse stick. Instead, they're removing the cable box set, and putting in a fuse stick. And then all these technicians work, right? Okay, right, the office will call you, and the office called, and I spent over an hour on the phone with them, and nothing worked. And I just said, listen, ma'am, I'm going to bed now. I can't watch nothing. I said, I just had to go to bed. She said, okay, fine. I said, so when? She said, well, next week it come, send back a technician. I said, well, not tomorrow. So it had to be Thursday. So I'll be without internet all of today also. Sickening.
I don't understand what they changed, but okay.
They moved the cable box, and put in now a stick. You know, it's like a fire stick.
Okay.
That's how they use it. They're doing the cable now. It's like
it's not like a box again.
No, they're calling it a fuse stick. FUSC, fuse stick. That's what they installed.
That sounds awfully close to fire.
Well, it does, because you know why? Because the guys say it could actually do everything the fire stick does. Download all kind of channels and all different kind of things. So I say fine, and well, it didn't work, and I'm without internet. You know? So yeah, but I walked the Savannah this morning. It felt good. And there were quite a few people walking at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I was now about to ask you that. If it had, what was the activity like? Because they were going on at 4 o'clock.
There were other people.
From 4 o'clock, is there people?
Yeah.
Sometimes half 3. And have people started to Bobby Savannah.
Yeah, there were other people.
Yeah. Even in Aranguez is also very, from early o'clock, you have people walking around that Aranguez Savannah.
Yeah.
I used to do the Aranguez Savannah. Sometimes Ricardo and myself used to walk that.
Okay.
And sometimes you'd go for 4:30. And it's, I don't want to say packed, but close to that.
Yeah. It's not packed, but you know, walking along the way, you're meeting people.
Yeah.
Everybody said good morning. Everybody said good morning.
Yeah, maybe something about the morning time.
Yeah.
Give me those same people. Lunchtime, they want to talk to you.
Probably. But I enjoy doing it because I haven't done it in years, as I say. So I did it. I feel good. But where are we getting? I have some birthdays. Hold on. Let me get birthdays, and then we get on with our programming. My birthdays are Arlene Ramdwa. She is celebrating her birthday today. She and her sister, actually. She has a sister who's born the same day, different year, but born the same day. Nelline Sangster. Happy birthday, Nelline. Robert Wiltshire, my very good friend and plumber. He is celebrating his birthday today. Glenn Rogers, also celebrating a birthday today. Glennis, he is with Campari. Answer, I think. What's that? What's the answer? Daryl Mendoza, aka the cleaner, aka he has so many AKs. But he is celebrating his birthday today. Anne-Marie Francis, Sonia Rigo, Aquino Davis, Beverly Thompson, and one of our favorite listeners and supporters, Oliver Manwaring. He is also celebrating his birthday today. So
happy birthday to everybody.
I'm sure. I think he's on the chat already. Yes, yeah, he is on the chat already. All right. So everybody else celebrating a birthday October 8th, you are indeed extremely special.
Happy birthday to you. Anniversary people also.
Yeah. People do, but I don't know if people get married too much in October.
Me more joy than eating and sharing Trinidadian foods, and while you all know about doubles and roti by now, there are so many other dishes that deserve the spotlight too. So come eat with me at some recent events so I can put you on to some more amazing foods enjoyed in Trinidad. First up, we're heading to Trinbago Festival and I'm bringing the whole family. My favorite dish was the stewed chicken, red beans, rice, and macaroni pie. These are the components of a typical Sunday lunch in Trinidad when extended family gathers for an elaborate meal. They're Creole foods exemplifying the blending of African, European, and indigenous culinary traditions. Next, corn soup, what most Trinis would look for after a fete because it soaks up all the rock. It's the ultimate one-pot meal with chunks of corn, split peas, root veggies, and usually dumplings. Next, we're heading to a lunch with Visit Tobago, and oh my gosh, the catering was on point. We had curry crab and dumplings, which is a quintessentially Tobagonian dish made with local blue crabs and flat dumplings. We also had pilau, another Creole one-pot dish using meat that's been cooked in a burnt sugar as its base. Last, if you've never had tropical ice cream flavors, you are missing out. We had the mango and soursop from local brand Sweet Vaso, and they were so yummy.
Should I get hungry one time, yes?
I think that Caribbean Food Festival, I'm not sure what that Caribbean Food Festival was. Was it in, I don't know if it was in Ontario or Montreal, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Where it was exactly. I think it's in Canada.
Interesting.
I'm subject to correction, but just showing you, Trini influence in food. Trinidad food is really, Trinidad and Tobago food is really making an impact.
It is, huh?
Yeah, it's getting more and more recognition.
You see, our food has flavor. We cook food with a lot of flavor, as opposed to a lot, maybe European food, and even American food is awful. African food is really good too. And if people the jollof rice and the fufu thing, it's really tasty. A Trinidadian food, I think, maybe Trinidadian cooks may probably cook the best food because of the flavoring. I'm not a big food connoisseur. You gotta talk to people like David Wales and them who love to eat and like to sample and go around the place eating all different kind of food. I'm not that person.
All right, but let's go to the
chat.
Yeah, the chat section.
Yeah, let's do that now. Suzanne Jessup came in first, 1203. Blessings from Suzanne, Suzette, and Mrs. Gemma. Felix Kazo says it's hump day. Hey, Richard, it's hump day.
It's Wednesday. Aren't you continuing?
Okay, no, I thought you were going to play the hump day video.
No, we already started the...
All right. Margaret Thomas says, good morning, guys. Anthony Tinto, good grand rising to the breakfast crew. Anthony Tinto is sending something called black peanuts for us. He said, Wendell, you will enjoy it. I'm sending for you, Richard, and Sir Charles. Black peanuts. Apparently he grew it out there in Toronto. He always growing something strange, so he's going to send black peanuts for us, right? Eunice Dublin, Boy Bidesi from David Ava Smith also says, good morning. Marlon Motley, good Wednesday morning, guys.
Good morning, Marlon.
Anne Noel from Oshawa, Ontario. Cheryl Johnson, Erica Charles, Diane Payne, Michael Cadet, Odell Guy, Brennan Smith, Michael Mapp, Doreen Pear, Richard Jeremiah, Carol Guevara, Sherwin and Juliet Kerr, Kathy Ann Charles, and Anne-Marie out there in Bronxville. Is it Anne-Marie? Kathy Ann, did I get it wrong? Kathy. Manuela Peters, Apollonus, Robert Taylor, Debbie Modest, Lambert Bruce, Kenny and Harlem, Valerie Mendoza worked for 15 hours yesterday, and by 9 p.m. she was knocked out. By 9 p.m. I was probably, anyway, I didn't sleep much. Joyce Phillip, Gavin Frank, Carl Guevara, Parmin for Parang. Ingrid from Tucson, Arizona. Oliver Manwarin, who is celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday, Oliver.
Happy birthday, Oliver.
Trinidad, Margot, Prabha, Ramdial. Morning, Miss Ramdial. Mrs. R.
Good morning, Mrs. R.
She says high winds. Okay. She's a weather woman. She's Robin, what's your name? Robin Maraj.
Keep going, keep moving.
Robert Harper, Wayne Ramsey, David McCarthy, Joyce Phillips said it's a whirlwind. There goes Mrs. R again. Carla Hercules, Julia Batiste, Damian Edwin, G.H., Claire Lendor Rollins. Robert Harper is wishing his dad happy 75th birthday. That's Mr. Wilfred Harper. So happy 75 to Mr. Wilfred Harper, coming from your son, your daughter-in-law, your grandchildren, and everybody else in the Cascade area, St. Anne's area. Shoma Paul, Rena Boodoo Jennings, Alistair Hart.
Good morning, Damien.
No, Wendell, the Caribbean cook with taste. Okay. Dean Allen says, Lord Richard, another food video. Michael Robinson from Yokohama, Japan. Natalie Hoyt. Ozzy Molino. CJ from New York. Happy Hump Day. Thanks, well, Arlene. I said Anne-Marie, it's Arlene. And Nicola McNichols said, good morning, everyone and gentlemen. CJ is wishing Oliver happy birthday. All right? Those are the greetings here. Also, Amanda Edwin just came in.
All right. So let me say good morning to Kent.
Good morning, Amanda.
Good morning to Kent in Laventille, Terry and Peters. Good morning, Linda in London, Fifi in Addis Ababa, Brenda in Penal, Far Rockaways, up early, Colin in Caranage on his way to work, Zena in Arima, Horatio also in Arima, Ron DeSantis in Virginia, Archbishop Ashton Clark in Canada, Laverne, I'm not sure where Laverne is, Mr. Beeps in Pity Valley, Slick Money Group, and yeah, that is it for the people on the WhatsApp. So good morning, everybody.
All right, happy birthday greetings also going out to Donna Maria Hall. That's coming from Michael Robinson out there in Yokohama, Japan. All right, morning to Sankofa and also to Lester Crabbe.
All right.
Can do your news break now? Yeah.
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davanti tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now, what are you waiting for?
Pay $1 down on higher purchase plans at Furniture Plus. Enjoy fast approval, low interest rates, and up to 36 months financing. Retirees, self-employed, and permanent employees apply today. Buy now, pay later with Furniture Plus credit plans. Conditions apply.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box. People can't get enough of the #1 comedy of 2025. You don't need file to watch Corn. It's now at Cipriani College on Saturday the 11th of October at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 12th at 6:30 p.m.
Dancho is real bacchanal.
Tickets available now at the usual outlets and at the Cipriani College box office from Wednesday 8th of October, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily.
Don't play mad and miss this show, you know.
I see that show 3 times. Kenna is the best.
You don't need file to watch Corn. The bacchanal continues.
To watch corn.
All right, so we are back, and of course, Wendell is about to do the news day. I mean, the express.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo!
All right.
Just to get it out of the way.
Yeah. All right. Today, of course, it is indeed hump day. It's Wednesday, October the 8th.
Yep.
All right. Wednesday, October the 8th. Lee arrested. That's the main story in today's Express, and that's Dr. David Lee, Minister of Housing, and a businessman Hugh Leong Poi. They were taken into custody after High Court reopens $1.4 million fraud case. And apparently Dr. Lee was hospitalized yesterday after falling ill. That's on the front page. Also on the front page, woman, 15-year-old among 6 killed. Yes, there was a murderous rampage over the last 24 hours. And the other picture is that under the caption, tornado, Mrs. R, tornado terror. A man walks past a blown off roof strewn on the roadway at Cherry Crescent in Westmoreland yesterday. Strong winds damaged several roofs in the community. All right, and there's a picture of that there. All right, so in the main thing they say tornado, and the story they say strong winds, so they figure it out. Lee spends night at hospital. That's also in today's Express. Analyst decision up to MP to step down. PNM to Kamla, will minister continue serving in cabinet? Penny country in the dark over reshuffle, and brothers among 6 slain in less than 24 hours. All right, those are all trending stories in today's Express. In the back also, the wraparound, there are pictures of the devastation that took place in Westmoreland, Cherry Crescent in particular, Westmoreland yesterday. Minister Khadija Amin is seen in one of the pictures, along with Member of Parliament for the area, Hans Devines, and of course, Mayor of Diego Martin, Akila Glasgow Warner. All right, those are all trending stories in today's Express, right? You guys can do the others.
Hey, Richard fell off. All right, well, let me do the Guardian in the meantime. Minister David Lee rearrested. That seems to be all of the newspapers' headlines on fraud charges. Falls ill after surrendering to police. UNC government to deliver first fiscal package on Monday. Tornado rips through Westmoreland's roofs, torn off, homes left in ruin. Rare water sprout morphs into tornado phenomena. So you see different aspects of it, right? North Coast residents struggle as flooding hits Maracas Beach access roads. And Williamsville under flood waters. And light of good burns bright at Sangre Grande, Ramlila. Yeah, that's some of the stories there in the Guardian.
So I can do the Newsday, and the Newsday bail hearing set for October 8th. Minister Lee remains in custody. Man dies in freak accident in Bethel. Tanku Padarath confident about budget's passage. Brown, no government shutdown if budget not passed before October 31st. Vicky Boudram gets own bail on escaping custody charge. Danny's man gets $2,000 fine for condom theft. And TPP opens nomination for THA election candidates. And that's basically the main stories in the Newsday for this morning.
All right.
So
I don't know if Sir Charles, we were trying to get on to the local government minister and the MP for Diego Martin.
I'm trying to get on. So one person is declining, like they're probably tired of something else, but I'm trying to get the other person in the meantime.
Yeah. All right. So we could get an update on what really happened down in that area and what resources are they bringing to bear to help those people down there, because they're citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. So the story is a tornado around. We got someone? All right. A tornado around midday yesterday ripped through roofs, frightened residents, and caused other property damage in Westmoreland. No injuries were reported. The TTMS, that's the Transport Meteorological Service, said a weak tornado.
The best time to go in the bush is at night.
Okay, what was that? A weak tornado developed over northwest Trinidad around 11:55 in Westmoreland. The Met Service said the system formed as a result of unstable weather conditions and dissipated shortly after moving inland. Most of the damage was reported along Victoria Avenue and Cherry Crescent North. All right, debris, including an entire roof, blocked the roadway in Cherry Crescent. At least 9 homes suffered severe damage, with several others reported minor roof and structural damage. Of course, that was one of the stories, and of course, the other main story is that of Housing Minister and Member of Parliament for Caroni Central, Dr. David Lee, remained under the care of medical professionals at the hospital last night after complaining of feeling unwell following his arrest. Lee, along with businessman Hugh Leongpoy, was taken into custody by officers following a successful High Court challenge by the DPP, which revived a $1.4 million tax fraud and misbehavior in public office charges that were dismissed by a magistrate earlier in the year. The TTPS confirmed the arrest in a brief release yesterday afternoon. It said that Commissioner of Police Alistair Guevara had received the judicial warrants around 12:15 p.m. All right, so that's one of the other stories. That story overtook all the other stories yesterday when it came up. All right, it will form the basis of our poll this morning, because now that, if you remember, just before the general elections, Dr. Lee was a magistrate had found that there was insufficient evidence to continue with a trial, and he was acquitted along with Mr. Leongpoy. The DPP did indicate at the time that he is going to have it reviewed and, if necessary, rearrest him. And so said, so done. He has been, now that he is a government minister, he was in opposition then, an opposition member of parliament then, if people remember. Well, actually, he wasn't even an MP because the parliament was already dissolved. So he was still selected to go up for elections though, and now he is a government minister. What should happen? You're going to get a chance to vote on that today. All right? All right, so we were trying to get the local government minister and the MP for the area to give us an update. But I guess we could go straight into our stories. Take some calls, Charles, and wait to vote. Yes, Big Money Grip. That's probably on the advice of an attorney. Trust me, so that they could spend the time in the hospital and not in the jail cell.
All right, Wendell. So I have been successful in connecting with Ms. Khadija Amin. So we have online. Ms. Amin, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Sir Charles, and of course, Wendell and team. Good morning to all of you.
Yeah, morning, Minister Amin. Just calling to get an update on the situation at Diego Martin yesterday, Cherry Crescent in particular, because you would have paid a visit in your capacity as local government minister. If you could give us an update, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, you had Cherry Avenue as the worst affected street, but you also had incident on Western Cherry Crescent, Western Avenue, Rowlands, and St. Anthony's Drive. And that is on the northern side of West Moorings. It falls in Diego Martin Corporation, but based on the magnitude of it, I was able to direct the disaster management teams from Port of Spain and Sour Laventel Corporation, so we'll have more boots on the ground. And we had several field officers visit every home and do assessments. There were a total of 16 houses affected. So you also had like a tree fall down and you had some flooding as well. But they also brought in some tarpaulins to help people secure. So, I mean, it really was just a freak situation. These are not houses that are poorly constructed or might have that not properly bolted down. These were solid structures. But when I mean, it just was totally ripped off. You also had some other houses damaged from the flying debris. Mm-hmm. So piece of galvanized or piece of wood hit their roof and the shingles get damaged, galvanized, get a hole, that kind of thing. And then of course with the rain falling, the furniture, appliances, everything getting soaked inside. So yesterday we had, when we completed the assessment, we also had first responders such as TNTech, fire services, the regiment was on site, as well as WASA, because WASA also had some work to restore the water connections. What I can tell you is that when the incident took place, there was TNTech infrastructure was damaged. They had poles being hit down, lines cut, transformers exploded, and the other area, large area that was out of electricity, all going down to Monkoko Road and so on. When TNTech came on the scene, they immediately isolated the areas where you had damaged infrastructure and they returned the electricity so that on the main, all the other areas were able to get back their electricity in a short space of time. Mm-hmm. But they did not put back power on the streets where you had the damaged houses. And they went to every house, because if you put back electricity in a house that the roof gone, it water soaked, or even if it's part of the roof gone, it may not be safe to turn on electricity there. So, you know, they really did spend time visiting every house to ensure that it was safe to turn back on electricity. But up till late last night, I was on the phone with them. The last transformer they repaired around 8 p.m. So they were able to restore electricity last night and isolate the houses where it was not safe to really turn back on electricity. Because you had the situation where once the disaster zone, we had the TTPS, Forwards Police Station was active on site directing traffic and so on, but we also asked them to do some additional patrols in the area last night because the area was in darkness. You had several first responders and engineers and so on working in the area, the Ministry of Local Government together with the corporation were able to clear the debris. So our disaster coordinator, Kathy, we would have sent additional equipment for her to coordinate the removal of all the wood and galvanized and other building material that was on the roadway, and to remove that, as well as to ensure that, you know, we have public safety. So I really want to thank WASA, the Trinidad, the fire services, the Forward Fire Station. They also helped remove elderly persons from the homes and so on, the fire services, and the defense force who were also present. There's a gentleman who also lives in that area there, and he was able to get some drone footage. And I think most of Trinidad and Tobago has seen the drone footage. So it's just a small concentrated area that was severely impacted because of the strength of the winds. I really don't think it's something that, you know, you could have prevented, because, as I say, the houses are, strong houses. What I want to do is take this opportunity to remind people that hurricane season is coming up, and while we will be doing some more public education drives, there are areas where people have to get support and guidance in actually bolting down their roof. So we have to prepare for the hurricane season, but our disaster team was out there yesterday in terms of...
What about injuries, Minister? Any injuries? Because I'm actually seeing you in the newspaper here with someone who has a cast on her hand. I don't know if she may have had that before, but were there any injuries?
No, there were no physical injuries, thank God. That lady, she had a broken arm, an elderly lady. She was also a victim. She was at home alone at the time of the incident. But most persons had someone in the house at the time. Every household that I spoke to, they indicated that at least one person was at home. So you had some elderly persons who had to be evacuated. You had children. There was a teenager who some of the gypsum fell on him when the roof blew off, but he wasn't physically hurt, and we didn't have any incidents, any injuries, thank God. But of course it's very traumatic to experience or even to witness that happening. Even neighbors whose houses were not damaged, very shaken by the incident because they saw their neighbor roof being blown off.
Yeah.
But so yeah, boys, it's a lot. It's a lot. If you're on site there, the mayor of Diego Martin, the MP for the area, the councillor for the area were present. But I'm really grateful for the agencies who coordinated with us, Minister Barry and Minister Elder from Public Utilities concerning TNTech and WASA, and for the teams who stayed very late there, as well as the officers who stayed very late to secure the site.
Yeah, but some of our worst weather experiences have in fact been in October month. The Greenvale incident, I will never forget that, was on October month. We get some really terrible weather patterns in the month of October, so you can expect some more. Yeah?
Yes, Wendell, I was a councillor for many years, and you always brace yourself in October, November.
Yeah.
I call it the Diwali incident. If you go through a year without an October, November incident as a councillor, you feel very relieved for your burgesses. So this is hurricane season. This is a time when you have a lot of rainfall. We have a lot of work going on still in terms of flood relief, clearing water courses. The work continues, but I'll tell you, the state of neglect of the major water courses that fall under the drainage division. Minister Jolene John has been doing a lot of embankment and repairing the pumps and so on, and that will help, because you had instances where the bank failed, and because of that, once Caroni River starts to overflow, there's nothing as a resident you can do to prevent the water from coming up that large volume. The same thing happens in the South Oroput River Basin. and those other major water courses. In the budget, though, you will hear some things about what we are doing in those areas with our local or regional corporations, because while the Ministry of Infrastructure will work on securing the riverbanks, there are other things that fall under local government where we have to make communities more resilient. Flooding is the most prevalent disaster we face. The incident yesterday is very unusual for Trinidad, of course. Even the people and with the weather, they don't have instruments to measure tornadoes because it just doesn't happen in this region, you know. So yesterday was just such a freak incident, and I want to give my solidarity to those who have been affected and their families, but also it is a reminder to Trinidad and Tobago that we have to make our homes more resilient to disasters as far as we can.
So true. Minister Amin, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Take care. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Of course, that was Minister of Rural Development and Local Government, Khadija Amin, weighing in on giving a pretty comprehensive report on what happened down at Diego Martin yesterday.
Yeah.
We're trying to get the MP Hans Devine.
We do have him here.
You have it? Hey.
Yes,
Right.
we do. Mr. Devines, good morning to you.
Good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Wendell. Good morning, everyone.
You have a voice for radio. Anybody ever tell you that?
Well, you know, maybe I had a past life, and maybe I have a future.
Morning, MP Devine.
Morning, Hans.
Well, we would have just
Morning.
Richard jump back in the hands. So give us a quick update on what's happening down at Diego Martin. We just heard from Minister Amin, and she did mention your name and the mayor.
Okay. All right. Well, in the initial stages and phases, we saw what was happening in the Diego Martin Borough Corporation as well as my office, and we made the necessary calls to all emergency agencies, and we were able to get different agencies out, whether it be TNTech, whether it be the Diego Martin Borough Corporation's emergency unit. There's also some assistance from the Sawa Laventille Regional Corporation, as well as the Port of Spain Regional Corporation rendering assistance. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service was on site just to ensure security, and the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service, they also came on as first responders. What we saw a lot of yesterday as well is residents coming out and helping. Just, you know, because it's your community, so we saw a lot of community effort as well. It was a scary experience. You know, I heard someone on another media channel say, you know, it happened for only 10 minutes. But when you think about 30 seconds of an earthquake, 30 seconds of an earthquake can feel like eternity. So can you imagine 10 minutes of seeing roofs in the sky spinning? It would feel like an eternity, and it will be a very, very, very scary and traumatizing experience. That's just the way it would be, you know. As for right now, what I can say is the debris blocking the road has been cleared. The mayor and the councillor for the area, Amber Keynes, they stayed on up to 10 o'clock last night to make sure the road was clear, and there was as many services restored as could be at the point in time to residents. What happened as well is TNTech, and I really applaud TNTech for this. TNTech went around to individual houses to assess damage, because, you know, if you have certain types of damage to property and you turn on the electricity to that particular property, what happens is you could have a immediate disaster. A hazard, fatalities that could result from that, because, you know, different things happen in terms of the damage. So I really want to applaud TNTech for those efforts. I want to applaud the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service laying extra eye on the community over the night, because with so many of these roofs damaged, and not just roofs, there's a gentleman who had galvanized from his neighbor's roof in his backyard. You know, we saw walls being damaged, gates being damaged. So the community essentially would have been a little exposed had it not been for that extra security effort last night. So we want to thank the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, the fire service, for rendering assistance, like I said before, and just generally everyone that came out to assist, and even the business community that is saying, you know, they want to help in whatever way possible. Yesterday, the minister did make a statement. She said, you know, most of these residents have insurance and they are able to sort out their problems. And while some residents may be insured for this particular scenario, we don't know if they're insured for this particular
type of damage.
Yeah, they may have house insurance, but not for to cover incident like that.
Yeah. I mean,
exactly. So, yeah, and then we also don't know everyone's individual circumstance, because some people, you may say, all right, well, this is an affluent community, but someone may have inherited a property. Someone may have been able to afford that property in 2020, but then in the midst of COVID-19, their business crashed and they're still trying to recover. So they just don't have it. So what I am fortunate to have is businesses willing to step forward and support and help. So today I go back into the community, and as well as other communities, because other communities were affected. So for example, there was a landslide in Rich Plain as well. Very minor damage in Carnage and Resurrection. There was a little blockage of a waterway. Slight damage in Goodwood Gardens, where, you know, people were able to just wash down their areas and stuff. But I go back into the community today to have discussions, find out from the residents, you know, what is their scenario presently? Are they getting help? And what help can we offer via connectivity, connecting them to businesses and business people that are willing to volunteer and support.
All right. Well, thank you very much, MP Hans Devines. Close friend and colleague of ours. He used to be right across the road in another glass area.
Right across the road?
Right across the corridor, sorry.
The road or the corridor?
The corridor, right across the corridor. You understand? And then he would, every now and then, he would come over and get some knowledge and learn, and then go back and use it on issue. You know, so MP Hans, thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Hans, for joining us. It's
very much. And I continue to take the knowledge from across the corridor, no matter how far the corridor may be.
Excellent. Have a good day, Hans.
Take care.
Take care, guys. God bless.
Yeah, man.
All right. So there's not one with Captain.
You played a little curse for me. That's galvanized, looking like people.
Yeah.
Somebody walk up.
Yeah, look right there. Somebody house.
Go to the website. Go, baby. Go fast.
High winds can do that.
Yeah, just giving you some examples in case you didn't see it of what it was. There's another one, but it has some colorful language that's, you know, maybe not broadcast savvy, but certainly gives you more from bird's eye view. There was one with some people watching from a
balcony.
From a balcony, but I didn't see that one in the group. So I could just transfer it quickly. But just to give people an idea of what it was like if you didn't see it we weren't privy to some of the videos. That was a sense of what was happening yesterday in that area.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we can't take any calls, but we could do a poll and take a couple of calls.
We can squeeze in a couple calls.
Yeah. But so Charles, you can put up the poll from all now so that people can vote on this poll. You have not voted yes or no today. You're voting resign or fired. All right. Do you believe Minister David Lee should resign or be fired from ministerial office, right? So you put in resign or fired, okay? Not yes or no today, right? Resign or fired. Good?
But this could be a yes or no question too, generically.
Okay.
You understand, as a one question, because they both amount to removal from office.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So I don't know. You think it's important? You think it's important whether he resign or be fired? Is that what you mean?
Well, yeah, because there's an article today from Mukesh Prasad, who's an analyst, said that the decision is really up to the MP to step down. That's what he is saying.
From a ministerial position, no, it isn't.
Well, I found the article strange.
No, from a ministerial position, it is the Prime Minister, has the power to remove you.
Yeah.
You can't. You could resign.
Yeah.
But the Prime Minister can remove you from a ministerial position at any time.
Yeah. He said, Basdeo said, I think in this instance, it is Minister Lee who has to take the decision whether or not to step aside. He said it works in Lee's favor that he was acquitted by the courts before, but that position has now changed. I think when you're a government minister, you're right, Richard, it's up to the Prime Minister.
Yeah, it's up to the Prime Minister. You're there at the Prime Minister's,
Well, we have a call here. Let's take the call. Samson, good morning to you.
Good morning, Charlie. I think he should resign and also fire. There's too much crooks on that side already. Don't add more to it.
What crooks should have on that side, Miss Sampson?
Yeah.
I know what I'm thinking about. Everybody has something hanging over their head and it's not a halo.
Which crooks?
Richard, don't send her further down the rabbit hole, please. Leave it. Just leave it. There's something, just leave. Asking that question might get us in trouble.
No, don't say glib things like that, Come on.
So should Minister David Lee resign, according to a political analyst, or should he be fired? Because it doesn't. When the initial response from the Prime Minister doesn't seem to indicate she'll be firing. You understand?
No. Kola, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Morning, Kola.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if you all know, but yesterday they had flooding in Williamsville in South. So you had like whole streets under maybe a foot of water because they had some flash floods up Williamsville. That'll be like Williamsville, Ecclesville, Garakara, all that area. So I didn't see it on the newspaper. So I just say I would let you all know.
All right, we appreciate that.
Thanks very much.
Even Marima yesterday had some serious thunder and lightning and rain for a brief moment. Yeah. And that was after the incident in the Western.
Yeah. You always get a little bit nervous as a homeowner about your roof. Your roof is always one of your...
You telling me?
It's one of your points that you always be like, that wind,
A night I was up when a hurricane passed. Remember we had a kind of hurricane a couple of years ago?
Very forceful wind.
What? I was up that night and I was looking up in the sky, yes? You may hear that noise.
All right, people. So vote on the poll. I'm going to say yes or no. Yes, resign or fired. Right? That is your choices this morning.
Yep. Resign or be fired. Which one should he?
So we will be back after the news.
The news you need. The clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on New Era TT Radio and Guile Caribbean. I'm Derek. Commissioner of Police Alistair Cavaro says he received judicial warrants just after midday today for the arrest of Housing Minister and Coroni Central MP David Lee and businessman Hugh Leong Poi, owner of Sport Outlet Limited. The warrants were issued by the Office of the DPP under Section 23.5 of the Indictable Offences Act. Both men were immediately taken into custody and are being processed. Their arrests follow a high court review of an earlier ruling that had freed them in April. At that time, Acting Chief Magistrate Christine Charles upheld no case submissions, citing insufficient evidence. However, the DPP sought a judicial review, and the High Court has now found grounds for trial. Lee and Leong Poi were first charged in 2022 for allegedly conspiring to defraud the state of over $1.4 million in taxes related to the importation of a $2 million Mercedes-Benz SUV. The TTPS says it remains committed to upholding the rule of law with integrity and impartiality. Finance Minister Devendranath Tangku and Leader of Government Business Barry Padarath say the 2025-2026 budget will be passed in Parliament without issues. The budget is scheduled for presentation on October 13th at 1:30 p.m., marking the UNC government's first budget since the April 28th general election. Debate is expected to last 4 to 5 days, followed by the House's Standing Finance Committee reviewing expenditures over 5 days. Weekend sittings are possible. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles will respond on October 17th. Sources say the government could conclude debate by October 18th, allowing the committee and Senate to complete deliberations by October 29th, with final assent by President Christine Kangaloo shortly after. Tangku also took on new responsibilities for the National Health Insurance System and Exim Bank, promising to handle them effectively. With the term of the current Farley-Augustin-led Tobago House of Assembly, THA, ending in about 2 months, Tobago parties are gearing up for elections. The Tobago People's Party, TPP, has opened nominations for all 15 electoral districts, closing on October 17th. Public Relations Officer Tanielle Jack said no further details would be shared until nominations close. Nominees must be registered members, supported by at least 6 people from their district. A vetting process, including interviews and background checks, will follow before the political leader finalizes the slate of candidates. The TPP currently holds 13 of Tobago's 15 THA seats and both parliamentary seats. Meanwhile, PDP leader Watson Duke said his party is more than ready, having already screened candidates. The PNM Tobago Council has also completed its selection of 15 candidates, while the Innovative Democratic Alliance, IDA, expects to finalize its slate by mid-November. The THA's term ends December 6th, with elections expected within 3 months. A woman charged by the Anti-Corruption Investigations Bureau with fraud and money laundering linked to a public assistance check scam has been granted $75,000 bail. She appeared before High Court Master Indira Chinibas, who ordered that she report weekly to the Santa Cruz Police Station between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. Her next court hearing is set for March 3, 2026. Investigators say that in December 2022, the woman allegedly used a fraudulent Ministry of Social Development check worth $2,300 at a Port of Spain supermarket. The check was later found to be counterfeit when deposited at the central bank. The probe, launched after a report from the ministry in March 2024, was coordinated by DCP Natasha George and ACP Dennis Nutt of the White Collar Crime Division. The accused was formally charged on October 1st under the Proceeds of Crime Act. A 29-year-old woman, Danielle Wilson of Mount Zion, Arima, died Monday evening after a collision in Tunapuna. Wilson was driving a Honda City with 3 passengers when it collided with a Honda Stream driven by Ramnarine Bisundile of Charlieville, Chaguanas, along Cara Royal Road near the Wassa Pump Station. Police reports indicate the impact caused Wilson to lose control, reverse, and hit a light pole, triggering the airbags. She was rushed to hospital, but pronounced dead on arrival. The passengers in Wilson's car, Che Paul, Dejan Paul, and Nao Mitchell, sustained non-life-threatening injuries. Wilson was reportedly driving on a learner's permit. Attorney Anton Grantham has been granted $90,000 bail after appearing virtually before a Chaguanas magistrate on firearm and ammunition charges. Grantham, 31, was arrested on Saturday during an anti-crime exercise. He faces 2 counts of possession of ammunition and 1 count of possession of a firearm. Magistrate Marissa Gomez granted him bail with a surety, and he must report to the Chaguanas police station on the first Saturday of every month. He returns to court on November 4th. Police say the charges stem from a search at his Woodford Gardens home, where officers allegedly found 11 rounds of ammunition, and a second search at his law office in Chaguanas, where a Sig Sauer pistol with 13 rounds was allegedly discovered. Grantham was reportedly unable to produce a firearm user's license. The police operation was led by ASP Hernandez, supervised by Inspector Joseph and Sergeant Ramzamer. In international news, Israelis gathered across the country today to mark 2 years since the October 7, 2023 Hamas attack, which killed over 1,200 people and saw 251 taken hostage. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel had endured immense pain, but shown miraculous resilience, vowing to eliminate Hamas and bring the hostages home. Talks aimed at ending the war in Gaza continued in Egypt, with U.S. mediators expected to join on Wednesday. Officials say progress is slow, with disputes over Israeli withdrawal maps and guarantees Hamas wants to prevent renewed fighting. The conflict has claimed more than 67,000 lives in Gaza, according to figures recognized by the UN. Across Israel, memorial events were held, including ceremonies in Tel Aviv and at the Nova Music Festival site, where hundreds were killed. And that's news at this time.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Mornings just got better. You're locked into Net Radio Breakfast Show, fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
En esta noche buena,
Show, bringing you the energy, music, and vibes to start your day right.
And we are happy that we can do that. Make sure that you get your day going in the right kind of way. People, welcome inside the second hour of the breakfast show on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio, and Gael Caribbean. We say a very special good morning to the Gael family. Yeah. Remember, don't worry, you can get involved. So we look forward for your input, okay? Programming note, just to let you know that we stream all day, every day. So when we are off of the TV stream, or you don't get us on the social media stream, remember you can get us on newerattradio.com, New Era TT Radio on TuneIn. All day, every day. And when you go to the different platforms, you go to our website, YouTube or Facebook, like and subscribe, follow the channels, and also don't forget to hit the support buttons, right? The support is very much needed, and we look forward to continued support from you guys, right? So continue to vote on the poll. Remember, you're either putting fired or resign, right? And when we come back, we'll continue, and we have our guests coming in on the other side of the break. So stick around.
Don't miss Furniture Plus Inventory Blowout Sale. Get up to 65% off in-store and online. Enjoy massive savings on furniture, appliances, and more. Hurry, this deal won't last. Shop now and save big at Furniture Plus.
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Devantry tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
People can't get enough of the number 1 comedy of 2025. You don't need file to watch Corn. It's now at Cipriani College on Saturday the 11th of October at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 12th at 6:30 p.m.
Dancho is real baccaral.
Tickets available now at the usual outlets and at the Cipriani College box office from Wednesday 8th of October, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily.
Don't play mad and miss this show, you know.
I see that show 3 times. Henna is the best.
You don't need file to watch Corn. The Bacchanal continues.
To watch Corn.
Yeah, I had one.
The old house. I hope it's here. It will fly up.
Two houses. Three houses. Scary stuff. You know, I saw there was one of the videos where the when the roof came up and seeing people like they were driving along, and it looked like it was actually coming in their direction. I mean, that had to be a scary feeling. Yes, I was like, what?
Yeah.
And that I'm surprised that sort of distraction didn't cause like accidents and stuff too.
Yeah.
Sure.
They have a kind of echo.
Oh,
not that kind of how I echo.
Oh boy, sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
Echo.
Right. So I just wanted to remind people, of course, that you don't leave foul to watch. Corn is on this weekend at Cipriani College. We're back at Cipriani College Saturday at 8:30, Sunday at 6:30. You should not miss it. And I want to say thank you again for all the people who came out in South. I forgot to mention on Saturday we had some of the actors from the Secondary School Drama Festival play Alpha from Naparima College. They had won 17 awards in 2024, and they had gone to the Toronto Fringe Festival. And some of those young actors were in the audience on Saturday night. So we did, have them stand up and had the audience applaud them and stuff for their accomplishments, because they really did fantastic work and were very much acclaimed at the Toronto Fringe Festival. And so they also came backstage. So we had a lot of conversations with them, and it was recorded. So I don't know if it'll come out at some point, but very interesting conversations. And there are some very interesting questions about, being involved in professional theater, so to speak. And of course, their drama teacher, Janelle Archer Chan, she was in 10 to 1, which was in Central Bank on Saturday and Sunday. And so I met her Sunday night. I met Janelle. But I knew Janelle, tangentially, so to speak. But so she was very glad. She said they were very effusive. So, and some really good work, Janelle, with those young boys in terms of acting. So I just wanted to say that. I forgot to mention that previously. Yeah. But I see our guests are already, at least one is in.
Yeah, let's do the poll.
All right. Let's do the poll.
Yeah. Don't lose track.
I'm just going to read what people say. You're going to determine if it's how you want to put it down, right?
Because you made it difficult. I told you just say yes or no. You made it difficult, so you're giving me the problem now.
Yeah. You solve it. I'm sure you didn't tell the young actors and them what happens when the play is finished and the cars go off and
what has happened?
You didn't tell them that part, eh?
What has happened?
The more exciting part after the play.
What part is that?
The breaking down of the set on the lineman and things.
What do you mean the breaking down the set on that? That's just rote. It's something you have to do. You have to pack up and leave. Right? It's part of what you do.
Susan Jessup, yes. You decide. Yes to what? I don't know. Yes to resigning or yes to being fired? I don't know. Marlon Motley says yes and fired. Andre Reno says resign. Magic didn't vote there. Eunice Dublin says yes. Margaret Thomas says removed from office. I guess that's fired. Carla Hercules fired. Slick Money Grip fired. Michael Cadet T-shirt stepped down, so that's resigned. GH says fired. Joseph Clement says fired. Rena Jennings said he should be fired from office. Kenny and Harlem fired. Kazim Mohammed fired. Wayne Joseph fired. Beauty Culture. I read that story. It's in the papers. Boy Videsi resigned. Beauty Culture says fired. Michael Robinson resigned. Diane Payne fired. Felix Kazo resigned. David McCarthy said appointment should be revoked, so that's fired. Magic says fired. Eva Smith says resign immediately. Estelita Sampson said resign and fired. I don't know how you put that one down. DL said he should step aside, so that's resign. Eva Smith yes. I don't know. You decide where you're putting that. Howard Hernandez fired. Robert Harper resigned. Sankofa didn't vote there. Florence Bazi fired. Estelita Sampson. Okay, she's saying resign and fired. So you figure it out. Fired, says Alistair Hart. He said resigning may make the PM look too weak, so he should be fired. Classic Brother, resign. Trini in Boston, resign. Damian Edmund says resign. Beauty Culture didn't vote. James Kamau fired. Shoma Paul resign. Carol Guevara says both, so you figure that one out. Ron DeSantis Jr. says fired. Far Rockaway, I guess he should. I know Far Rockaway, he had a vote. I don't know what that means. If he should be treated like Marlene McDonald. Marlene McDonald was fired, so you're saying he should be fired? Jason Samuel says neither. Joyce Phillip didn't vote. Apollina says resign. Colted Finch fired. Valerie Mendoza resigned. Yes, Carol, I agree. We need to give it a rest. Marlene McDonald dead and gone. DL says, okay. DL on Far Rockaway and Carol at it. Where's the next vote? Lester Cragwell resigned. Derek Billion fired. Stellar Services resigned. Ann Noel fired. Carol Guevara, do not take on DL and Far Rockaway today. Please, don't let them stress you. Derek Ramdat says fired. Lennox Francois says fired. Philemon Green fired. And Joyce Phillip resigned.
All right, so on the WhatsApp, we have Archbishop Ashton Clark saying fired. Brenda saying fired. Judith in Tobago resigned. Horatio saying fired. Alice didn't vote. Right. Frank in Aruka says fired. Raymond says yes. Junior says resign. Black Pearls says yes, fired. And Laverne now typing. Oh no, Laverne says fired. And that's what I have on the WhatsApp so far.
And two more. Ava Smith resigned and Melchizedek, I guess demit office means resign. All right? So that's it. We're ending there. We have guests waiting.
Yeah, and the confusion poll today.
That's all right. Just to give people a little extra vote.
So we had 59 people voting on the poll this morning. So the poll was, do you believe Minister David Lee should resign or be fired from office? We had 59 people voting on the poll. 1 said no, 6 said yes, 31 of you said fired, and when
that is efficiency there for you. That is efficiency there for you, Richard.
No, all right, yes, 59. So 1 said no, 6 said yes, 31 said fired, and 21 said resign. So the majority, if you look at the picture, the majority said fired.
Yes. Either way, 58, all people said he needs to leave office.
Well, there was one person after that way.
One person said, oh, neither.
One
Okay.
person said no.
One person said no. Jason Samuel said neither. You're right.
Yeah,
So
but we didn't ask that.
Feel he should leave office, one way or the other. We'll see.
So that's it for our poll this morning. The poll is now done. Okay. Now we are going to get into our interview. Of course, we have the TTUTA Rebirth Team because TTUTA elections are up and coming. So we have members of the Rebirth Team, which is a team that is trying to I think replace. Is it Lumpkin?
The Lumpkin's team, yes.
With Lumpkin.
Lumpkin is now the president of TTUTA.
Right. So
he's the current president of TTUTA.
Team, yeah. So this is a competing team that we're now going to an interview with, and we'll talk to them about what their plans are for TTUTA and why teachers who are watching on should vote for them. So let's get into our Let's Talk segment.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, look at people. All right,
Good morning, guys, and welcome to the breakfast show on this Wednesday morning. Yeah, it is Wednesday morning. So
Richard, there's Sarah Khan there also. He said, "Good morning, guys."
I meant generically. I don't think she's that insecure when they're like you.
So we have Sarah Khan, Nigel Figaro, Dylan Harrison, and somebody who going by the name the TTUTA Rebirth Team. Look him there. All right. What's your name, sir?
Crystal Ash.
Crystal Ash, right? Good.
Yeah.
So we have 4 members.
Sorry, I don't know the entire team's name here. Sorry about that.
Well, that's correct. That's all right. Welcome. Oh, somebody else coming in. Adish Dwarika.
Right.
Full team.
All right. So of course, first of all, I suppose the first question is when exactly is the TTUTA elections? What is the date? Because for people on the outside, we may not actually know the date. So I don't know if you could clarify that. I don't know who may want to take that.
Yeah, I can take that. The election is set for the 14th of October. So that's next week, Tuesday. So all members of the teaching service. Yeah, right around the corner. So come the 15th, you will be seeing a new face of the union and so on. So we're here just to articulate as to how that would come into play and what we have to offer. My name again is Crystal Ash.
What inspired the Rebirth team to coalesce into a team to fight the elections?
Well, good morning, everyone.
But thank you very much for go ahead, Adish. You fix up.
Right, good morning, everyone. The TTUTA Rebirth Team was formed because there is disenchantment with the membership in terms of what has been happening in terms of the leadership of the association for at least the past 3 years. So this particular team was formed to renew the energy, motivate back the teachers into the camaraderie that we had before, right? We are looking to increase the advocacy for the issues that are affecting teachers in Trinidad and Tobago. So that is what the primary purpose of this team, of this particular team that was formed for this election.
So you're saying that teachers are demotivated. And if you could give us like the top 3 points of what's demotivating teachers currently.
Right, so I'm going to start from the top. So if we look at principals, vice principals, head of department, deans, senior teachers in the teaching service right now, approximately 90% of those people are in acting positions and have been in acting positions for a very long time. And the Ministry of Education and the Teaching Service Commission is taking a very, very long time with which to actually upgrade these teachers in those positions. And that's one of the major issues affecting them. We have a multiplicity of issues affecting teachers in terms of their classroom infrastructure and whatnot, and that is also taking a very long time. But one of the most important things is that teachers would have gone back to the universities, they would have gone back to study and whatnot to upgrade themselves to be better teachers within the classroom. And just for the assessment or the reassessment for those teachers to be upgraded to their positions, those things are taking almost 10, 15 years and whatnot. And we saw within recent times that a number of teachers would have taken to the courts in order to get retribution in terms of their proper assessment, in terms of what they are supposed to be having in the teaching service. And that is some of the major issues affecting teachers currently. Mr. Figaro is one of them as well.
So how and why is the TTUTA affected with this?
Well, of course, TTUTA represents the membership.
What's the responsibility in this?
Right, TTUTA represents the membership. So we are usually the ones to advocate for the rights of teachers. We are the ones to advocate for fairness among teachers and whatnot. So we are the RMU. We have the RMU status. So obviously, we would be the one to fight for what fairness for our teachers, right? Because Let's just take an example. We have a health plan, the UNIMED health plan, that is also a major issue in with teachers in Trinidad and Tobago. So teachers, from their salaries, those payments come out every single month. And when the plan started way back in 2001, around there, it was a 6-week period where if a teacher would submit a claim within 6 weeks, that teacher would be given the remittance from that claim. Now, it is 24 months that a teacher has to wait to get any kind of retribution from claims, and those are the things that is very upsetting. And this particular team needs to work towards with the Ministry of Education to remedy those things, and that is what we do. We need to advocate for our teachers so that their rights and their roles and their fairness across the board is what is priority.
Well, I mean, 24 months is incredulous. I mean, my eyes are open, I'm like, what? What insurance company is that? That's backing UNIMED? Because that's a crazy amount of time to get any claim. You forget about the claim by then. You might just see the money come back in your account and say, what is for? So, I mean, that's crazy. But in terms of I wanted to get into some of the topics because there are a lot of things to advocate in the education sector. One of the current ones, of course, is armed police in certain schools. What's the position of the TTUTA Rebirth Team with regard to armed policemen in certain schools?
Right, safety, if we look at the Education Act, safety is of primary concern, right? Principals are in charge of the safety of all the members of the plan. So obviously, right, because of the increase in violence and whatnot that we have within our secondary school system, and we are seeing it trickling down in our primary school system, because I think it was last month or last term, a primary school in Tobago had to be closed because of the violent behavior of a primary school student. So we see it as a plus in terms of assisting in the discipline of the school of the students to assist the teachers in terms of creating the best learning teaching experiences for those students. But at the same time, proper training has to be done with those policemen, because it is not like we are out in the street, we are out in the community, we are in a school environment. Therefore, adequate training in terms of how do we treat with mediation, how do we treat with conflict resolution, how do we treat with young people who needs to be put in a direction in terms of the correct path and whatnot, right? And of course, those are the things that has to be done, but proper guidelines in terms of their roles and functions within the school system has to be clear to everyone for this to be a success.
Yeah. If we can clarify for the people who are looking at us now, who would be the person contesting the position of president of TTUTA?
Right, so that's Mr. Crystal Ash. She will take that.
That would be me, sir. My name is
That would
Crystal
be
Ash.
you.
I'm the person
contesting
the presidency of TTUTA.
You're contesting president.
Yes.
And what is Ms. Sarah Khan? What position is Ms. Sarah Khan contesting?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Sarah
Khan?
Khan is contesting for third vice president.
Third vice president. And Mr.
Third
Dylan
vice
Harak.
president.
All right.
And I'm contesting the position of treasurer.
Treasurer. Oh,
Yes.
you will be one of the most important people then. And what is Mr. Dwarka? What position is Mr. Dwarka contesting?
Well, I am the current first vice president of TTUTA, and I actually am unopposed in the election coming up. So I'll be back as the first. I'll be back as the first vice president.
Okay.
All right. It's president, first vice president, second and third. Is that it?
We have Mr. Nigel Figueroa. I think he would have dropped off the call. He is our second vice president candidate.
Okay.
And don't forget Miguel Simon, our general secretary candidate.
Yeah.
General secretary. Okay. What are the major issues facing the education? I know a lot of times on this program, The Breakfast Show, we discuss education from time to time. And I know, of course, we have interviewed several of the ministers of education from time to time, sometimes calmly, sometimes not calmly. And we bring up issues that we feel that just seems to be long-standing. But one of them is the issue of textbooks, why textbooks are not digitized. Why do school children have to walk with almost a suitcase of books in 2025? That we don't understand, and we can't understand why that has not been modernized. Why do parents in Trinidad and Tobago have to go through the hassle of finding money to get a book list that comes every year, and everybody's rushing to the usual booksellers and saying, oh, they have this book or they have that book? Because many American children don't have to do that. They have never seen a book list in their lives. And so I'm trying to understand why that exists still, and what is TTUTA Rebirth's vision, if you have one, with regard to the modernization of the education system and moving it forward. I don't know who wants to take that.
Well, obviously, the Rebirth team would be willing to go down that route in terms of modernization, because we recognize the value of technology within the classrooms now. We recognize the value and the input of AI, because we clearly see that CXC is going in a direction of using AI in terms of the assessment and whatnot. So we see that as a very valuable role. However, the problem exists in terms of the infrastructure that we have in Trinidad and Tobago. Many of the schools in Trinidad and Tobago are 50 plus years old. And as a result of that, we have failing infrastructure. So although we would want to go down the road of using that as an infrastructure and to aid in terms of the teaching learning process, what has to happen is that we would need classrooms that has multiple outlets, and what if it is that we have to use laptops and computers and what's up in there, we would need access to the technology as well, and of course training in the relevant technology, and that would be the major issue, because there's a cost factor to doing something like that, right? So whereas the Rebirth team would like to go down that particular road, right, what we would want to see is that we would want to see some development in terms of the structure so that it can adequately support something like that. Even if we just have, starting with in the primary schools, we just have a computer lab, one area that, teachers can share and classes can share, so that they can begin that process. Because we are into the technology world, and we recognize the value of using technology to make the teaching learning process a bit easier in the classroom for both students and the teachers as well.
Are teachers equipped because many young people now, and many young people coming up into the system will be more versed with technology than I assume with some of the teachers, and how you can manipulate and use technology to achieve certain ends. How equipped are teachers in understanding even platforms like AI and ChatGPT and Claude and all of those kind of platforms? How much of the developmental exercises are taking place within the teaching sector with regard to issues like that?
Well, one of the positive things coming out of COVID was that teachers were forced into an online environment where they had to use the computer, they had to use the technology in order to actually have any kind of teaching. So as a result of that, many teachers would have continued in using the technology to support the teaching learning process in the classroom, right? So that said, still additional training has to be done, right, in terms of the proper use of the technology, the ethical use of the technology, so that we can get the best teaching learning situations and experiences coming out from the use of technology, right? I don't know if any one of my colleagues want to share as well.
Yeah. I would like to hear from
Mr. If you don't mind.
Sorry.
Go
ahead. Who wants to speak? You can go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Crystal Ash. In relation to that, I totally endorse everything that Mr. Doraka would have just articulated. The Ministry of Education, we also want to commend them for their role recently in terms of the training of principals and teachers and so on in relation to AI. They've had a number of workshops, and the TTUTA Rebirth team commends them for that. And we want to advocate for more as well. It's just a one-stop or one-time option to teach, and you figure you know everything. Nobody will know everything, because education is an evolving thing. And in terms of the IT and the AI and the use of it wisely and so on, this is new to all of us. So change comes, it doesn't come overnight, but we are all for it. Once it increases the ability of the children to learn and to provide a better educational experience for all of our children. And That's the direction the TTUTA Rebirth Team would like to take at this point in time.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Ms. Khan?
Dylan?
I don't know. Maybe she's not here. Oh, her mic.
Mr. Haraxing?
Yes,
I'm here. Yeah, so I agree.
Go ahead, Mr.
So I agree with both. Yeah, I agree with both Mr. Dwarka and with Mr. Ash. Something I want to point out, like right now I'm sitting in a computer lab in school. And I know the question may come up, well, we do have computer labs in school. What we have is a shell, we have a room. Right now I'm sitting here, I'm among 20 computers, not one functioning. So that's some of the issues that we are facing in terms of infrastructure. So it may seem on paper that we are ready for some of the initiatives, but really and truly, we are not.
Infrastructure is just not in place.
Yeah.
Because you know sometimes
the infrastructure there, but not the equipment.
well, all that is part of the infrastructure. But I'm just because I know sometimes I watch videos from schools, like YouTube videos of school and education in certain countries like China and Singapore, and it is, the level of immersion in terms of coding, in terms of using technology is unbelievable. And these are countries that we have to compete with in terms of our young people. So you wonder, are we equipping our entire system efficiently to move into that era as rapidly as we should? And I don't know what your assessment is of that.
Obviously, they are first world countries and places like Singapore, Finland, Japan. They have some of the best education systems in the world. Now, they are also have first world status in terms of Japan and whatnot. So it is going to take us a very long time to begin to get to that area. But we would like to see a foundation being laid, right? We would like to see a foundation being laid so that at least would give our students and our teachers the ability to create those best situations so that our students can compete with other students in the global market for the jobs and for all that is available at the global market. But then again, it takes a lot. The financial aspect of it to create that environment is a lot. And of course, the complaints from all ministries of education is that the money is not just there, right? In order for something like that to happen. Now we do have some semblance in schools, and one of the major problems there is the maintenance of it. So whereas we could, advocate together with the ministry to partner with private bodies and whatnot in order to get a lab in a school, one of the things there is that we need to maintain those things in order to keep it. And that has been a challenge in a number of schools. Like, for example, Sarah, what I've just mentioned. In her school there's about 20 laptops, 20 computers there in a lab, in a room. But of course, with time, it has degenerated and it's possibly not working now. So one of the things is that we need to have a proper maintenance structure as well to support the teaching learning process where technology is concerned. Mr. Ash also indicated that some training has been done, but that training has to be continuous because we see that the technology is very developmental. Whereas we had ChatGPT a couple of years ago as the primary source of getting information. Now we have a number of other areas, right? A number of other apps that are very useful in the creation of lesson plans, in the creation of lessons, in the creation of content, so that the teaching learning process can be enhanced. But the training has to be given to the teachers as well as the equipment, so that they can carry on this particular type of teaching experiences in the classroom.
Yeah. I remember a couple of years ago, and I'm saying couple meaning more than two. There was the introduction of smart classrooms, at least in some way. In some schools, there was a smart classroom. And I can't remember if it was with Huawei or Samsung who had partnered with the Ministry of Education. And so those things no longer exist. Is that what you're saying?
Well, there are very few of those smart classrooms, at least in the government schools, right? We do have a couple of smart classrooms in those denominational schools and whatnot. And of course, those are schools that have very strong PTA, very strong alumni, so that they can support something like that. And we have to understand, the maintenance of the smart classroom goes again with a maintenance plan and structure to be able to deal with that. So we do have a few in Trinidad and Tobago, but it is not where we need it most. For example, if I were to make a decision in terms of smart classes, I would go to a school where it is most needed, not where the students in a particular school, all of them have access to computers, all of them have access to Wi-Fi and whatnot. I would want to place a smart system in a school where it is most needed, where the children who attend that particular school do not have laptops at home, do not have access to Wi-Fi, do not have access to apps like ChatGPT and things like that. So I would want to place it in a school where it is most needed. And sometimes that may be the issue in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question of the candidate for treasurer, Mr. Harak Singh. Is it, because he did on the chat, is TUTA required to have audited accounts? What is the financial contribution and situation with TUTA as it is now?
Yes, annually we do have an independent body coming in to audit the books and whatnot. But just like the state of the economy generally, TUTA is finding itself in a bit of a situation where it's becoming more challenging to really meet the needs of the members. Over time, we have had to cut costs in certain areas, and just like the national economy, we have not really diversified our revenue streams. Our main source of income is membership dues. And what you are finding, especially where now we see people taking private lawyers and winning their cases and getting their justice, you find that new people into the service, into the education profession, are less inclined to join the union. I think over time, people are not really seeing the value of a union. And when that happens, it means your income, your revenue stream is going to become less and less every year. And we need to really enrich and improve the level of services to make teachers see that it's a worthwhile entity to be a part of. And we also need to look at diversifying our revenue streams to make sure that we could really meet the needs of the members.
I wanted to touch on curriculum, and I'm wondering, because the world is changing rapidly. Yeah, you hear a lot of conversations with regard, if you listen to various podcasts on science and AI and where it's moving, that jobs are going to change, the job dynamic is going to change. And I'm not so sure how much TUTA advocates for curriculum change with the Ministry of Education and looking at the holistic picture of, I hate that word holistic, by the way, but looking at the world and where it's going with regard to AI and Generation Alpha that's coming up. Because Generation Alpha that's coming up, when they are young adults, some of the jobs that they see now will not exist. AI would have now taken them over. And how much is our curriculum adapting, or is it adapting to those future changes that are coming? Because they are coming. And so we have to be able to maneuver and adapt with the technology in terms of our education system that equips our citizens, young citizens, for the new world of work. Is that a conversation that's happening? And is that something that TUTA has to lobby with, for, and with, or in collaboration with the Ministry of Education?
Yes, definitely, because what happens is that the curriculum is a great part of what happens to the national landscape. And as you quite rightly said, Mr. Raghubar Singh, is that if it is that we do not prepare our students for this global environment, we are going to lose out and we are going to be left behind, right? We're going to have an education system that caters for about 5%, and we have 90%, 95% of the students would be failing. What TUTA has done in the past, and this particular team is going to continue to advocate and fight for, is that we need to look at a relevant curriculum. We need to look at a relevant curriculum, not only for the academics, but for the technical, vocational students who are so apt. And that is what we have been doing. Last year, the TUTA would have signed a memorandum of understanding with the NTA, the National Training Agency, and that was to conduct a survey and research in terms of the TVET system and what is offered in the technical vocational subject area in schools in Trinidad and Tobago. That research has been completed in July of this year, and we are currently doing the analysis of the information received so that we can make a policy. We can provide research data driven information regarding that particular sector in terms of the technical, what is offered in the technical vocational areas in the schools in Trinidad and Tobago. And not only that, but the need for that in terms of the student, where in Trinidad and Tobago it is most applicable. What do we need to do to provide those students who, have these particular skills, but it is not catered for within the curriculum? We're also looking at the academic curriculum in terms of what Mr. Raghubar said, because quite rightly, there are certain jobs, right? I would have done some research recently and shared with the association and the ministry where approximately 30 jobs, right, within the very near future would be obsolete, right, in terms of in terms of some of the banking areas, the banking finance areas, right, some of those jobs would be obsolete. We have groceries, and I think we already see it in a couple, I think in one of the massy stores where you can cash out and so there would be no need for any cashiers and and pretty soon, right, with the technology and what is available in Trinidad and Tobago, and owners of businesses, are able to finance it, they will do it because it's going to save them in terms of their expenditure and increase their income. So we need to look at that, and we need to prepare our students in terms of that. Oftentimes we have a little colonial kind of attitude that everybody in Trinidad and Tobago must be a doctor, everybody in Trinidad and Tobago must be a lawyer, everybody must be a nurse, or as the case may be, and there is a lack. So there is a heavy focus in those areas, but we need to look at the spread. What is needed in Trinidad and Tobago? What are the things that we need in Trinidad and Tobago in terms of the occupation, so that we can prepare all our citizens in an adequate way to take up those roles, so that we can, become a very self-serving and self-sufficient society.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting topic you're raising there, because how do we prioritize what jobs we need within this small? Because we are small space, and how do we, equip our students to get into the direction of the jobs that we require, or the career paths that the country requires in terms of moving forward? And I mean, I don't know if that's a conversation on a tertiary level too. Maybe maybe they pay no gate, but I'm gonna mean no gate, that it's completely gate funded for certain careers regardless, because you want people to go into those careers. I don't know if they may have to look at a mix of stuff, I guess, in terms of, even though I find tertiary education should be completely free, period, as me. But
you see, I just want to jump in, Mr. Raghubar, and that again is where the education system comes in. Because what happened years ago, when I was doing my master's, we were given a direction, right, in terms of the research that we need to take in order for it to be relevant and applicable to Trinidad and Tobago. And I think that kind of direction is what is necessary at the university level. So we have the master's level students, we have the MPhil students, we have the PhD students, and we can give them a direction based on what their course of study is. Listen, those economic students and whatnot, what is the status of the economy? What are the things that we can do? And we give them some guideline topics in terms of research areas, that the research that they are doing for their relevant programs will be beneficial and would be informative to what is happening in Trinidad and Tobago, right? I'm not too certain right now how much of that is being done, but I know that at least when I was there, right, we had those directions that they were told. For example, my master's thesis had to do with the usefulness of suspensions in schools in Trinidad and Tobago, right? And that would have been very relevant to inform policy in terms of what kind of remediation procedures that we need to do to assist with the indiscipline in secondary schools in Trinidad and Tobago. And that's the direction that, this team, because I'm not seeing Mr. Figaro on, but a major conversation that this team is having is making data-driven decisions, doing the relevant research. What is affecting teachers? How many teachers are affected by the different issues and whatnot, so that we can begin to treat with it and advocate for it. And that's one of the major things that this particular team wants to look at, using research, using data to inform the decisions that we are making for the association and for the members going forward.
Yeah, I remember some years ago, the Minister of Education in the UK, whatever they're called, had taken a team because the UK was falling behind in mathematics, and had taken a team to China and to some of those Asian countries where they were excelling in mathematics, find out what they were doing, and they went with a team to investigate and come back to England, to the UK, to put in some best practices or suggest where they needed to revamp. And I remember speaking to the Minister of Education at the time. I wouldn't say who it was. And I was saying, well, do we do things like that? Do we explore other education systems? Do we see what is the best practice? Do we see where we can hone in best practice here to make ourselves globally competitive? And I was kind of dismissed. So I'm not very, how should I say it? I'm not very enthusiastic about ministers of education. In terms of the history of those that we've spoken to over the period of years, they seem very straight-laced and really sucked into the system as it is, and they don't come across very innovative. I don't know about the new Minister of Education, but I'm just talking from past. They never seem innovative enough to me, but maybe they were, but I just don't see it. But how much is the TTUTA Rebirth Team in terms of that innovation aspect and pushing that kind of agenda forward?
Right. One of the things that one of our manifesto things is that we want to give our membership a voice. Right. We want to give them a voice because we are of the opinion that any policy regarding education in Trinidad and Tobago, regarding curriculum in Trinidad and Tobago, right, the teachers should have an input, and that has not been the case for many years. We talk about stakeholder conversations, we talk and consultations. But what does that mean? It means that we are invited for a half day and people tell us what their plans are and then we leave. But that is not what this team is about. We want the practitioners. For example, if we are developing, as you said, a policy in terms of looking at examining the curriculum, we need to go to the teachers to get their opinion, to find out what are the things that they are trying in the classroom and are failing. We have, within recent times, a high level of indiscipline. What are the things that are causing the indiscipline in the classroom? What are the things that the teachers are trying and are failing at? What are the things that are available for the teachers to try? So we need to have that kind of information to have that conversation going forward, right? And those are the things that this particular team really wants to focus on, where we get the practitioners, the one who have to implement the policies that are created, to have an input, right? To have a say. Whether it is acted upon, but at least to have that say, listen, we have tried those things and they have failed. We would like to see something different. We would like additional tools available to principals and to teachers within the school system to treat with indiscipline, to treat with students who are not academically inclined, to treat with students who have different abilities, different disabilities and whatnot. And of course, to get the relevant support system in there. So that's the direction that this particular team wants to go to advocate for our teachers, our members.
Yeah, but I know time is about to wrap up with this interview. So I don't want to give each of you closing remarks of why people should vote for you in terms of teachers.
We'll go to the president first.
Yeah, we can start with the Harak thing, where you are on the screen. That's why I'm taking you.
All right.
Yeah, as treasurer. Why should people vote for you as treasurer?
Well, I have a history from even in my district in Southeastern and the other community groups where we were able to change and transform from having very little in the coffers to being completely self-sufficient. And TTUTA right now needs a change where we could really become self-sufficient and viable to ensure the success of TTUTA. And by the success of TTUTA, it will also extend into the success of teachers and the education system.
All right, and Ms. Khan?
She has some unmute her mic.
Yeah. So Sarah Khan was third vice president. So what you want someone who is within the system, who's on the ground giving service, who understands the need, who has innovative ideas. And that is the team Rebirth, the Rebirth team, not just Sarah Khan. Because a lot of things that people would take for granted. I want to make this point. I want to end with this point, right? Now, when we look at the teaching population, it's predominantly female. Okay, and a lot of us are navigating health issues. We cannot discount the hormonal issues and stuff. Yes, it's natural part of life, but compounded by that, we have the poor working conditions. These hot, poorly ventilated classrooms, the inadequate access to cooling systems and comfort measures. Now, this may seem insignificant to the average person. We need someone who understands the issues and can address them, because these factors severely impact the health, the well-being, and I'm talking about mental and physical health and productivity. So you need someone who can address them, because it's not a matter of just equality, but it's essential to sustaining quality education in Trinidad and Tobago. And TTUTA and the TTUTA Rebirth Team is all about bringing comfort, bringing change, and bringing quality to the education system in Trinidad and Tobago.
I understand.
And our president-elect.
Yes, Mr.
Our
Crystal
presidential
Ash, yes.
Yes.
Why? Thank you very much, sir. Why elect or vote for Crystal Ash? The reality is that I've been in the education system for some 22 years now. I've come through the ranks from on-the-job training to normal teacher, principal, and so on. Now I'm a school supervisor. I bring all these experiences in one collaborative area. If you look at this particular team, 6 of us, we provide over, I think it's about 57 years of collective experience. So it's not just a little bit. It's not just me alone. I'm not working by myself. I'm working with a group where we have shared vision and so on. I think TTUTA needs impetus at this point in time. They need people with energy. They need people willing to come out and see what you have to see. TTUTA is supposed to be like a lion, roaring when necessary. Not all the time, but when necessary. But now we're more or less like a docile pussycat. That's the reality. So we need to find ourselves back to the realm where our voices would be heard, and where people would have that respect for the union as a professional organization. That is what we hope to bring. So TTUTA Rebirth and Crystal Ash for president. Thank you very much.
All right, gentlemen, lady, thank you very much.
Mr. Dwaraka, we know you are unopposed, so.
Yeah, he's unopposed.
You are, as they will say in Trinidad, you in already.
You get through. You GT.
The inside, yeah.
And that should say a lot about his work ethic, that in any time, no one is willing to or able to really match him.
I would like my colleagues and for the membership to vote for my colleagues so that we can actually come into office, and of course the work ethic and what that I would have shared with them, that they can continue, and we now can form a unified body to fight with one voice, right, for the rights of our members. And that's the primary purpose, to fight for the rights of our members. We just want equity for our members. We just want our members to operate and to work in an environment that is suitable for them, so that we can create the best possible teaching, learning experiences for our students, so that our communities, our classrooms, our schools, and definitely Trinidad and Tobago would benefit from what we have to offer. And that's what I'm asking for on behalf of this team.
All right, well, thank you guys for joining us this morning. Appreciate the conversation.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so have a great day, and all best of luck to you all.
Yes, and thanks.
Much
special thanks to Ms. Faraya Hayatali for organizing the Rebirth Team. All
right, so our news is next.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on New Era TT Radio and Guile Caribbean. I'm Derek. Commissioner of Police Alistair Guevara says he received judicial warrants just after midday today for the arrest of Housing Minister and Coroni Central MP David Lee and businessman Hugh Leong Poi, owner of Sport Outlet Limited. The warrants were issued by the Office of the DPP under Section 23.5 of the Indictable Offences Act. Both men were immediately taken into custody and are being processed. Their arrests follow a high court review of an earlier ruling that had freed them in April. At that time, Acting Chief Magistrate Christine Charles upheld no case submissions, citing insufficient evidence. However, the DPP sought a judicial review, and the High Court has now found grounds for trial. Lee and Leong Poi were first charged in 2022 for allegedly conspiring to defraud the state of over $1.4 million in taxes related to the importation of a $2 million Mercedes-Benz SUV. The TTPS says it remains committed to upholding the rule of law with integrity and impartiality. Finance Minister Devendranath Thakur and leader of government business Barry Padarath say the 2025-2026 budget will be passed in Parliament without issues. The budget is scheduled for presentation on October 13th at 1:30 p.m., marking the UNC government's first budget since the April 28th general election. Debate is expected to last 4 to 5 days, followed by the House's Standing Finance Committee reviewing expenditures over 5 days. Weekend sittings are possible. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles will respond on October 17th. Sources say the government could conclude debate by October 18th, allowing the committee and Senate to complete deliberations by October 29th, with final assent by President Christine Kangaloo shortly after. Thakur also took on new responsibilities for the National Health Insurance System and Exim Bank, promising to handle them effectively. With the term of the current Farley Augustin-led Tobago House of Assembly, THA, ending in about 2 months, Tobago parties are gearing up for elections. The Tobago People's Party, TPP, has opened nominations for all 15 electoral districts, closing on October 17th. Public Relations Officer Tanielle Jack said no further details would be shared until nominations close. Nominees must be registered members, supported by at least 6 people from their district. A vetting process, including interviews and background checks, will follow before the political leader finalizes the slate of candidates. The TPP currently holds 13 of Tobago's 15 THA seats and both parliamentary seats. Meanwhile, PDP leader Watson Duke said his party is more than ready, having already screened candidates. The PNM Tobago Council has also completed its selection of 15 candidates, while the Innovative Democratic Alliance, IDA, expects to finalize its slate by mid-November. The THA's term ends December 6th, with elections expected within 3 months. A woman charged by the Anti-Corruption Investigations Bureau with fraud and money laundering linked to a public assistance check scam has been granted $75,000 bail. She appeared before High Court Master Indira Chinibas, who ordered that she report weekly to the Santa Cruz Police Station between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. Her next court hearing is set for March 3, 2026. Investigators say that in December 2022, the woman allegedly used a fraudulent Ministry of Social Development check worth $2,300 at a Port of Spain supermarket. The check was later found to be counterfeit when deposited at the central bank. The probe, launched after a report from the ministry in March 2024, was coordinated by DCP Natasha George and ACP Dennis Nutt of the White Collar Crime Division. The accused was formally charged on October 1st under the Proceeds of Crime Act. A 29-year-old woman, Danielle Wilson of Mount Zion, Arima, died Monday evening after a collision in Tunapuna. Wilson was driving a Honda City with 3 passengers when it collided with a Honda Stream driven by Ramnarine Bisundile of Charlieville, Chaguanas, along Cara Royal Road near the Wassa pump station. Police reports indicate the impact caused Wilson to lose control, reverse, and hit a light pole, triggering the airbags. She was rushed to hospital, but pronounced dead on arrival. The passengers in Wilson's car, Che Paul, Dejan Paul, and Nao Mitchell, sustained non-life-threatening injuries. Wilson was reportedly driving on a learner's permit. Attorney Anton Grantham has been granted $90,000 bail after appearing virtually before a Chaguanas magistrate on firearm and ammunition charges. Grantham, 31, was arrested on Saturday during an anti-crime exercise. He faces 2 counts of possession of ammunition and 1 count of possession of a firearm. Magistrate Marissa Gomez granted him bail with a surety, and he must report to the Chaguanas Police Station on the first Saturday of every month. He returns to court on November 4th. Police say the charges stem from a search at his Woodford Gardens home, where officers allegedly found 11 rounds of ammunition, and a second search at his law office in Chaguanas, where a Sig Sauer pistol with 13 rounds was allegedly discovered. Grantham was reportedly unable to produce a firearm user's license. The police operation was led by ASP Hernandez, supervised by Inspector Joseph and Sergeant Ramzamer. In international news, Israelis gathered across the country today to mark 2 years since the October 7, 2023 Hamas attack, which killed over 1,200 people and saw 251 taken hostage. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel had endured immense pain, but shown miraculous resilience, vowing to eliminate Hamas and bring the hostages home. Talks aimed at ending the war in Gaza continued in Egypt, with U.S. mediators expected to join on Wednesday. Officials say progress is slow, with disputes over Israeli withdrawal maps and guarantees Hamas wants to prevent renewed fighting. The conflict has claimed more than 67,000 lives in Gaza, according to figures recognized by the UN. Across Israel, memorial events were held, including ceremonies in Tel Aviv and at the Nova Music Festival site, where hundreds were killed. And that's news at this time.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Pay $1 down on higher purchase plans at Furniture Plus. Enjoy fast approval, low interest rates, and up to 36 months financing. Retirees, self-employed, and permanent employees apply today. Buy now, pay later with Furniture Plus credit plans. Conditions apply.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davantry tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box. People can't get enough of the number 1 comedy of 2025. You don't need file to watch Corn. It's now at Cipriani College on Saturday the 11th of October at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 12th at 6:30 p.m.
Dancho is real baccarat.
Tickets available now at the usual outlets and at the Cipriani College box office from Wednesday 8th of October, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily.
Don't play mad and miss this show, you know.
I see that show 3 times. Kenna is the best.
You don't need file to watch Corn. The Bacchanal continues.
To watch Corn.
Of course, this is where we wrap it up on the breakfast show this morning. Of course, we had TTUTA Rebirth Team, who were one of the competing teams for the TTUTA election. I didn't realize it was so quick. It's next week, 14th, next week Tuesday. So we got some conversation about the education system in there. Of course, just reminding you that theater is on this weekend. You don't leave foul to watch corn. If you have not seen it yet, why? I mean, you know what is interesting about this place? So many new people come into this place who have never come to play before in their lives. You're getting a lot of that. A lot of people who have never come to a play before, and they are coming to this play, and they are I think they are way pleasantly surprised about what theater delivers. So we are on this weekend at Cipriani College, Saturday at 8:30, Sunday at 6:30. Of course, tickets available at the usual outlets: K Squared Fashions, West Mall, Eastgate, and Brentwood Mall in Chagonas, Jabili Rawi in Tunapuna, and Tony's Florals in Val Park Shopping Plaza, Champlain Auto Services, and of course in Arima at Alextronics in Arima. You can get your tickets for those of you in the Arima area. You can also purchase tickets online, which a lot of people are doing. Endless sales online for this weekend. So you can get your tickets online. Just go to RSRR Productions Theater on social media, Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok for information on how to accomplish that. And of course, the box office at Cipriani College opens tomorrow from 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily.
Just before we go, guys, I don't know if you all picked up on. he take a breath, so you gotta jump in when he take a breath. yeah. I don't know if you guys paid attention to the accident that took place. I think it was on Monday in Coro, where the young lady who was driving with the learner's permit.
I heard it on the news just now. I don't know about it though.
Yeah, it's a sad thing, you know. But
I mean, driving with a learner's permit, she was. You mean driving officially with people?
Yeah, apparently so.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Just urging people just to be careful on the roadways, you know.
Wonders never cease in this place, yes?
No, people really take chances, eh?
Yeah, they really do. A lot of people taking chances without insurance certificates. You understand? A lot of people, you know, but to each his own. Folks, have an absolutely wonderful day. I know I will. Did I tell you that somebody saw me 3 days ago and asked me, say, you driving this vehicle here? I say, yeah. Can I speak with you? I say, no problem. He say, I'm doing a promotion. He is one of those people who details and put that finishes on cars. I didn't realize because he has a heavy that Instagram presence. I say, you that person? He say, yeah, but you look very young. He say, yeah, but you're lucky I approach you before you approach me. So I'll do it for you for free. So I'm going to get back like new for free today by a young man who goes by the name Saz, S-A-A-Z. Say, fine, go ahead.
Okay.
That
is good, especially if you have not cleaned the vehicle for a long time.
Well, you know my vehicle, once it wash and rain fall and I drive, that's it. And
people tell me that all the time, Andal.
Huh?
People tell me all that all the time.
What's that?
You look so young.
Okay.
What's that? Is corn running there or fall?
I don't know what it is.
Something just run past there. That's our channel. Have a wonderful day. Remember to let go and let God. Only one life limit. And for those of you celebrating birthdays, as I said, it's every day this month. My God. Every day.
And remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health. Don't let nobody stress you out. And if you're stressed in the least, you need to come to theater. It will de-stress you. You know, so have a fantastic day, whatever you do. We know you have a choice, and thanks for choosing us as your source of entertainment and information.
Yeah.
And of course, you know that New Era TT Radio continues on the World Wide Web and continues on TuneIn, so you can listen and watch our programming for the entire day. Well, not all of them you could watch, but some of them you could watch.
All you can listen to, not all you
can listen. You can listen to
100%.
You can listen 100%.
Yeah.
All right, so have a fantastic day, whatever you do. Put that smile on your face. It's midweek.
This has been
the Breakfast Show. That's how you say it. That's how you say it. The Breakfast Show.
Charles, you don't be reading me, you know. I just be cueing you to put up Richard on the screen. You don't be reading me at all.
No. And
I'm just showing you to all how to say it now. That's when your testosterone in full flight. The Breakfast Show.
Yeah.